Episode 15, dog.
Yeah.
15 weeks in of the YouTube channel. Shit,
Mm-hmm.
dude. Feels longer, honestly.
I mean, like as we've talked before,
At, the,
all the
at
lost
this point.
stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, fuck, dude. Yeah, peeps, we did our first D&D session since August of last year.
Yeah. On
The only
Discord.
session, yeah, on Discord. It was fuck, it was a shit show.
It wasn't that bad. Honestly,
It wasn't bad.
it went about as good as I expected, to be honest.
Yeah. With as many people as we had, I
I
mean,
mean,
yeah.
because I was thinking taking into consideration the whole time, like when we were doing this, that most of us in the group don't really do like really don't use Discord and shit like that, or don't really do like group call type stuff like this, like
Yeah.
ever. So it's going to be a learning curve for a couple of the guys, I think, just to like get to get used to. Oh, like not being able to just crack a joke every single time you think of a joke like we normally do, because
Yeah.
it's going to make it hard. Like we're just not going to understand each other's talking.
Yeah. Honestly. Yeah.
Um, but yeah, I mean, I think it went pretty good, all things considered.
Yeah. Um yeah, for all those who are wondering, this was like a one shot that we did that's kind of
One shot slash prologue.
leading up. Yes. One shot slash prologue that's leading up into our campaign, and good God, we have a fucking cast of characters.
Yeah, yeah, I thought it was interesting. Like I thought, oh, okay, maybe that I like just like the big difference is the heights. That was like the
Yeah.
most like glaring thing because, like to be honest, I was like, oh, you know, I might be kind of tall or whatever. I'm gonna be 6 feet tall, just like whatever. It's like kind of standard like humanoid size, maybe whatever. Uh,
Yeah.
one character is 3 feet tall, another is 2 feet tall, and then we have one that was like 6'6".
6'7" or something like that.
Yeah, and 6'7". Like they're both like just over 6 feet tall, like almost six and a half, like 6.5 feet tall or whatever. And I'm like, damn. Like, all right, fucking. I guess I'm the most normal sized shaped person here.
Yeah. I just remember everybody throwing their characters my way. Yours being the more normal one,
Yeah,
and then everybody else's is just like I'm sitting there and I'm like, bro, I feel like I'm in the middle of like the menu for Ark Survival Evolved.
some people have like maxed out the height and shit, and other people are maxing out like putting it the
Yeah.
slider all the way to the other end.
Yeah, we got the one tall fucking buff dude. We got the small little short guy. We got the
The
two
small
people who are
little
using
buff
pods.
dude, the small little jacked dude.
Yeah, the small little jacked barbarian halfling,
That
bro.
that's just funny.
Fucking
I'm glad he went with a not meta build. Those are like the most fun.
which one?
The fucking halfling barbarian. Who the fuck plays a halfling barbarian? Nobody. That's such like a
I don't
fucking
know, man.
out
I
there
don't know.
thing.
Yeah, well, that all started because when we had brought Jordan in to the D&D group,
Yeah.
he was deciding his race, and he was like, "I want to be a halfling." And I was like, "Oh, dude, it'd be funny as fuck if you did a halfling barbarian." And it was just like a funny joke that we did back then, like laughing it off. And then this time around, Michael was just like, "I'm gonna do a halfling barbarian," and I'm like, "Of course you are. Of course
Nice.
you are."
I mean, there's a couple like joke characters I've seen online that like I've wanted to do. Like one of them was a well, this is the most like crazy one that obviously like I would need your approval for. But the class was like a wizard or sorcerer or whatever. They could use mage hand or whatever, and they were just like a loaf of bread, and they used mage hand to move around. They were a sentient loaf of bread. And then like one of my favorite images, like has an image tied to it, is it was a it's a dog whose owner never came home, like went to work and never came home, and they like Photoshop or drew Geralt of Rivia, but with like a just like an anatomically correct dog head, like a normal dog head. But it was like all his armor and shit. I was like that's like one of my favorite fucking like D&D memes of all time. It's like I'm a dog whose owner never came home, and I'm off to find my owner. They fucking got
God.
like the matching scar and like the fucking Witcher gear and shit.
Yeah.
And it's not like a furry type character. It's like just like a normal dog. That's the best part.
Yeah. Yeah, because I remember like before the campaign started and everybody was sending me like their characters and shit. I went on like Reddits and shit like that for like DMing
Mm-hmm.
and like just fucking things that people were talking about, like their campaigns and the characters that their players are
Mm-hmm.
gonna be playing. And I'm like, oh, these all look normal.
Yeah.
These are normal casts.
Yeah. I did. It's not characters, but there was two things that I saved from Instagram that I wanted to share to y'all, but I decided not to because I want to use them. As it's two different type of dungeon trap rooms that have a very funny twist. That I mean, I guess I'll say it in here, but because it might be a long
Yeah.
time before I use them. But basically, one of them is there's a chance that when you're there in a dungeon, so like old school dungeon crawling, dungeons are kind of magical places, and there's not like really a set map. It's kind of like you can kind of like roll your dice and see like what the fuck happens when you open the door, basically. And so one of the rooms, this is two different rooms you could do. One of them is there's a potential chance that when they open a door in a dungeon, the door is a portal to a room that just has a horse in it, and there's nothing significant about it. It's just a random room with the horse in it, and it could show up in any dungeon. They just open the door, and there's just a fucking horse in there, just perfectly fine. There's nothing else in the room. The only other door just goes right back out into the hallway, and but it can show up in other dungeons, and it's the same horse every time.
There was one like I don't think I'm a well, I might use it for like a one shot way later on or some shit
Mm-hmm.
like that for the guys, but it was I was looking at like puzzles and shit,
Mm-hmm.
trying to get like some inspiration or like be like, ooh, that's a fucking good idea. And then there was one that was like do like a little fucking like rectangle room,
Mm-hmm.
but on each of the corners is the ground is like in a circle with a symbol and it's lit up in a different color. Like one's green, blue, red, or yellow or whatever, right?
Right.
And in the middle is like this wall that's kind of like you can see through, almost kind of like glass or like magic or something shit like that.
Mm-hmm.
And literally, it's not even a puzzle. It's just something to fuck with you, because people are gonna immediately go and try and figure out what the fucking corners do with the colors and
Right.
shit like that. But
Yeah.
really, the thing is you literally walk up and you just walk through the shit.
Yeah. There was another one that I saw that I definitely am probably going to use it. That it kind of is a puzzle room, but it doesn't really do anything. It's another similar thing where it's just like this room that could just show up randomly, like any dungeon or whatever, and it shows up multiple times in the dungeon. And what it is you go in the room and there's a crab. I think this is how I remember. There's a crab in the room, and you can just go through to like the other door to continue through the dungeon. But there's a chance that you'll come across the room again, and then there'll be two crabs, and the crabs it keeps on adding a crab. And the only way to stop it from adding crabs is to you have to sit there and name every crab or something like that. You have to give each crab a name, and there's like no hint to that.
Oh my god,
I think
that's
it
awesome.
was something like that. I don't remember exactly what it was, or like I think I saved it. I have to rewatch it. There's this guy on Instagram that posts all kinds of fucking great shit. Um,
Yeah,
but yeah, it was something like that.
in Christ, dude. Yeah, D&D puzzles can be a fucking bitch.
Yeah, I have a book for some from like third or second edition or something of like
Yeah.
puzzles and trap rooms and shit. I have to flip through it and see. what, what it is. I know one guy I saw said that they u- they didn't tell their like their people that they play with where they got this from, but they posted on like Reddit or whatever. They get all their puzzles from like a elementary school like puzzles for children book, and sometimes it takes them like an hour, like a two, to like figure out like simple like puzzles designed for like 5 year olds. It's for like elementary school and like kindergartners and shit. Like this puzzle book that he has, and he just uses them in D&D, and it fucking takes him forever.
Fucking amazing.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ, dude. God, yeah. But yeah, I'm not gonna lie, going through the manor last night and everything,
Mm-hmm.
when y'all came across the shadow, I dead ass thought Jordan was gonna die right then and there.
Really?
Yeah, because
Oh
he
yeah,
lost all the
because
health.
he got one. Yeah, he got one shotted.
Yeah, he got one shotted. It wasn't a crit, if
No.
anybody's asking. If it was a crit, he literally would have died right on the spot. Um, because he only has like 10 health or some shit like that.
Yeah.
And I ended up rolling an 8, but it adds a +2. So it
Mm-hmm.
fucking does it like immediately. He's like, "Are you fucking kidding me? That's all my health." I
Yeah.
was like, "Yeah, yeah, it is."
Thankfully, I have the cantrip. That can just pick him right back up.
Yeah, if y'all didn't have that radiant damage, y'all would have been fucked.
Oh yeah. I'm kind of pretty glad I took that. I mean, it kind of makes sense for me to have that with my character, and like
Mm.
that I would have something that's strong against fucking shadow people.
But yeah, fucking
Just being where I'm from, you know.
bro, it took everything in me to not bust out laughing when he was like, "Can I poison it?"
Oh yeah,
And I
because
and I immediately turn, look at the book, and right under immunities is poison, and I'm
yeah,
like, sure.
fucking go for it. Yeah, well, that's the thing is like, so I mean, I guess technically what you could have did, like if somebody asked a question like that, like when they're trying to like ask you like if it's going to be effective, or is basically what he was trying to do, like is it going to be worth it to try and do it? You could have them roll like a fucking animal insight or something to see if they know about shadows, if they know that information. I guess it's like as like a maybe it's like a bonus
Well,
action or something. You could
well,
check.
the reason I didn't do that was because it was just the way he phrased the question. It
Yeah,
was more of a, can I attack it with poison? And I was like, yeah.
yeah,
And instead of like, is it weak or is it vulnerable to
yeah.
poison?
I don't know. With him, I might have assumed that he was just asking if it would have been like I think he was trying to figure out if it would have been more effective than like the piercing and so, but he didn't put the right words to it.
Yeah.
That's kind of
Yeah.
how I took it when he asked that. But I was just like, oh, fucking, I mean, I didn't know, so I was just like off the top of my head. So I was like,
Either
oh,
way,
fucking,
it was pretty fucking funny seeing his reaction.
yeah,
You just see the shadow look at you and it just goes. And he's like, "Are you fucking kidding me?"
yeah,
Shit was funny as fuck. Oh yeah, yeah. But I think one of the highlights though of that night was definitely fucking Ray getting in the car, going to
to
work,
work and then playing
and
at
rolling
work.
dice while driving, and then gets to work and is still playing D&D.
Yeah, at fucking Waffle House, bro. I mean,
Bro, that was like peak.
yeah, that was really funny when like he got all dressed. Like I was like, okay, like I saw he was getting dressed. Okay, I was like, okay, at any moment he's gonna say. And I was watching the time. I knew he said he had to be at work for 9. So like, that's getting pretty
I
fucking
know.
close. I guess he lives close to the one he works at. And then I was like, oh, I guess any minute now he's gonna say, all right, guys, I gotta fucking dip or whatever, go to work.
That's what I was waiting
And
for.
then my man picked up the phone and like grabbed his keys and like just went out the door and got in his car and shit. And fucking
And the
started the
best part
car
was
up.
like there was like a brief like 20 minutes or some shit like that where you could see that he put the phone in his pocket and then muted it.
Yeah, I was like, for a second, I thought like maybe he like hung up and he didn't say anything or like I didn't hear him, but then like he didn't like close the app and like it like got back in the call or something. I thought like I don't know what the fuck was going because it was just like because like it was like clearly like the camera was on and it was in his
Yeah.
pocket, but it was muted. So I didn't know like what the fuck was going. I didn't realize, and also I didn't realize the whole time he had like some Raycons or something, some Bluetooth earbuds. So he was like listening the whole time, like while he was like he I think he ended up keeping his phone and shit in like the office at Waffle House while he was like going in the kitchen and like cooking up some food and shit.
Yeah, bro.
That shit was so funny.
Fucking I cannot lie, man. Larry's entrance though was some kind of shit.
Yeah, the fucking just like sprinting up behind us and then he's just like standing there and fucking yeah, fucking
Well, the entrance I gave him or sent him, I was like, yeah, whatever. He did the little story, whatever, him getting to that point, and I'm like, well, you're gonna be wandering around at night, getting close to the fucking town or whatever, and you're gonna hear a scream come from a nearby mansion.
okay.
And so you're gonna run out and run out and investigate. He's like, yeah, I'm cool with that. And
So,
so I think he instantly forgot though, because when I said he just ran up, he just started splurting and like all this random ass shit, and I'm like,
getting into those
that,
Luryisms.
yeah, I was like, A for effort on the improv, but what the
Right.
fuck you talking about?
Yeah. And then the whole dude, I have a feeling that that might get annoying. The fucking he must have read somewhere that something about the Warforged lore about uh he doesn't like elves, and because I'm technically like a type of elf, I think
He's, I think
he
he came up with that on his own, all right,
okay
and he didn't tell me anything about hating the elves. Oh wait, no. So when I was going through like his backstory, this is gonna be a little bit meta into like his
yeah
story or whatever, but for the audience, I will say, I was like, yeah, okay, for like this universe or whatever, I'll say that because the dwarves and the drow elves, because they're both underground and like in areas,
right
eventually the dwarves dig so deep that they end up running into drow elves and it causes conflict.
uh
So in the progress of this however long fucking war, they had the materials to start building these constructs
right the
or
Warforged
beings and make the Warforged to help out in fights.
okay
So I think that's where he got the fuck the elves.
yeah. So I think we should. I think like next time we play, we should definitely you should definitely like clear that up with him.
Elaborate and be like, no, it's not all the elves. It's
Specifically, drow dark skinned
yeah.
elves.
It would make sense if you hated the drow, unless you're just for some reason categorizing all of them into one. I
Because
mean,
like I think like let me look at mine. So yeah, for me, I'm technically just a humanoid, but for
yeah,
anything that affects elves affects me as well because it's technically a type of elf.
yeah,
I think like
the Shadar Kai or whatever.
yeah, and I think it also technically I have like Fey ancestry or something like that, where
Yeah,
the Shadowfell is like the dark antithesis of the Feywild realm.
yeah.
Because like I get like Larry trying to be funny and shit, but like that's just gonna be annoying if the whole time he's just like fuck the elves like every time he fucking says a sentence and he's like directing
At
it
that,
all at me.
yeah. At that point, I kind of leave it into the player's hand on how they respond to that. If I'll actually like next time before we play, I'm gonna clear that up with him and be like, hey, look, like
just so we're
is
clear,
your intention to be racist to all elves because of that, or
because it was
did you
the
just
drow
forgetting
elves
the draft?
specifically that
Yeah,
yeah okay yeah 'cause I would appreciate if that part was reminded of him and cleared up.
yeah, because
And if he
at
decides
that
to
point,
be racist
yeah,
against all elves, then I mean fuck it, ain't nothing I
yeah.
can do about that. But
I mean,
ooh, I did have so like one
you'll
of the
do that with some NPC later on.
yeah I did have a suggestion. I think I put it. I think I messaged you about it about because one of the problems that we have, like I said, a lot of the guys are like, probably kind of inexperienced, but like obviously like Jordan isn't because he fucking been using Discord all the time for fucking years,
Oh
and like you have played like other D&D games and shit on Discord, so like y'all are used to like kind of taking turns talking in like larger
yeah,
groups and stuff. So I was thinking maybe, cause I assume you noticed like sometimes throughout the game I would just like fucking raise my hand
yeah,
when I want to say something. So I was thinking
and
it'd
that
be
was
nice,
extremely appreciated. I
yeah,
want to say that right now.
yeah. If
Thank
like
you.
maybe we can. I mean, maybe we probably won't need it for like scenes where like two characters like talking back and forth, but like maybe have it for some parts of the game where like, hey, before you talk, like it would be appreciated if you like threw like no, you don't have to necessarily raise your hand, but like throw up something, like do something that we could to get our attention visually before you just start talking.
Yeah,
Uh, I think that would probably help because like I know we were like all joking about how like we had to turn some people's volumes down. Like we were all like, well, once it was a game changer when we realized we could adjust individual volumes on people.
oh yeah,
That was fucking awesome. But like that, but that did lead to like an issue where like there was a few times where like because I think partially it was because we were all trying to listen to like you or somebody talk that like when Lurie
yeah,
or somebody was talking like they didn't know if like we could hear him or not because we weren't like
yeah,
responding to him. Uh, and I know like at some point Lurie thought he was like we all muted him or something because he was actually trying to do something and like I guess Ray didn't hear him or didn't realize. And so every time like Laurie tried to like say, "Hey, I rolled this to investigate the bodies or whatever," Ray just started like talking, like going all on about like some like the fucking dagger or the sword that he found or whatever.
yeah,
And I was like, hey, just so we're clear, Laurie did roll and he needed to know what happened.
yeah,
But I think like once we get play it a few times, we kind of that's one of the things we'll kind of like figure out and like we'll find a system that works kind of good.
yeah,
That's just gonna take some getting used to.
yeah, and definitely not showing up to D&D and during D&D getting
Zooted out of their mind.
intoxicated
Yeah, I mean, obviously, like some of us
out of
like
their mind.
have pretty decent self control. I mean, I was drinking the whole time, but I wasn't like
Oh yeah,
getting like
it's one
I didn't really drink much.
yeah, like it's one thing to like drink or do whatever the hell it is, right?
Yeah,
But when it's like becoming a
a
problem
little.
and you can't comprehend what the fuck is going on or what you're doing and
You just lose
kind
like
of
self control and stuff.
setting yeah, like off balancing the game and the party at this point. Like we're taking more time than needed
Yeah,
to get through shit. It's not cool. Not cool. I'll say that.
yeah. I mean, I
Um,
know there's a couple people that were kind of leaning one that way. I mean, I'll try and talk to like mention like one or two and be like, hey, just like heads up for next time, just so we're not like singling them out in front of everybody, or even calling them
yeah,
out on here. Like, I don't, that part, that's not cool, but we'll talk with them. Let them know like, hey, maybe like that's things like I mean that would happen when we would meet in person and shit sometimes, uh,
yeah,
but there was always like a little bit of everyone's driving home at the end of the night, so
yeah,
most people would like calm down, like they would get a little too far during the game, but then they would kind of sober up towards the end.
yeah,
Uh, but now that since it's on Discord, everyone's home, and most of us are like in a bedroom. It's like in our bedrooms and shit. So it's like maybe we should just like reinforce that again since it's been
yeah,
also you have to remember it has like yeah it's been fucking what
yeah.
like eight like
Yeah, that was.
9 or 10 months since the last time we played, and it was several months before that we had played.
Oh
So
yeah.
other than
Like all
that
of last year, we only did like one session.
yeah. So I mean it's probably since we were playing regularly, it's been like shit probably before Christmas, like before I moved and shit.
Yeah,
So it's probably coming up on like a over like year and a quarter, almost a year and a half or whatever. So it's been a minute since we were playing regularly. So we gotta probably just like remind everybody like, hey, like even though everyone's home and shit, like these rules should probably still take effect. as far as like that kind of stuff. And then, yeah, that was really the big thing. It's like maybe figuring out a system of just like I don't know, saying like, "Hey, can I have a turn to talk?"
Yeah. Oh yeah, we'll figure it out for sure. I mean, it's just gonna come with time until we figure out
hmm
like what works, what the fuck doesn't.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, every time I've done like D&D on like Discord, it's usually been with like a party of like three or four,
hmm
nothing like too big. Instead,
Yeah.
we got like six
6.
people.
Yeah, 6 including you, the DM.
Yeah,
Which I
and
mean, that's what we were thinking about doing for like if whenever we go to do stuff on YouTube or whatever, it's going to be like probably
oh
at
yeah,
most 4 of us.
yeah. So
Uh,
we gotta work out some kinks and everything first,
yeah,
and
like us playing like this main game would be get us back into the flow of stuff and get us like we get to like test everything out and figure out everything and plus like things will probably be just in general just be smoother when it's like us for YouTube and we'll probably set some extra rules for that.
oh yeah, yeah, we're gonna have to definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, just the future reference right here. D&D will be coming eventually at some point.
Yeah.
Don't know when.
Yeah, I definitely. I mean, we got to see how often we're going to be playing, and I definitely want to get several games in on your game for us to like knock out as many kinks as possible, and just to get us just
Yeah.
used to the flow of it. And then kind of probably after like 2 or 3 games, I'll probably start reading through the Spelljammer books to like, because that's probably what we're gonna do first,
Yeah.
because I'm gonna be running that. And then once we do that and figure out who's all gonna be in it, we'll probably start probably try and set a day or two to record hopefully some long sessions that we could split up into like a couple episodes or something.
Yeah.
I mean,
That and yeah, I was actually thinking of like how we would be able to do it. Um, we would definitely have to stay like ahead of it if we did like a full on like campaign.
yeah, I know the one in the book. It's not that long. It's pretty short, even like for like the printed D&D ones, because it's just like a little small adventure. Like it's because the Spelljammer thing's a box set of 3 small books. So instead of like just like one decent sized book, it's instead of being like one extra large book, it's 3 little books. It's a little monster manual, a general setting book, and then like a little adventure book. Um,
Yeah.
so I definitely need to read the general setting book because I think that's got all the rules for like actually like spell jamming, which is like flying the ships and stuff.
Hmm.
Because that's a big part of it, and read through the like see what creatures are out there and what other creatures I could use, and just see how the adventure goes. Um, I think it's only a couple levels too, so it could definitely uh I don't know I don't know I have to see like how the difficulty set on it, but maybe do like a little like prelude adventure kind of thing, kind of like what we did prologue thing, where it's like a session, like a one shot slash it's a prologue type deal
Yeah.
to kind of
Yeah.
introduce everybody to the setting and then start like the actual story or whatever. Um, and
Yeah.
depending on how that goes, I could always just do like a second story after it's at the universe, or we could just go on to like just another couple parter or whatever little set of games. Yeah, I think as far as recording it, because like I said, since it's not that long, we should probably record like the whole thing before we release any of it.
Yeah.
Because I think if we can set the time to do it, like if we could all set like a maybe it's like a day that you're off, and it lines up with like Michael being off, like we could try starting a couple hours earlier, maybe like an hour or two earlier than we did for when we played,
Yeah.
maybe at like 5 o'clock or something like that,
Yeah.
and then like still play like almost as long like till almost the time that we did, like 10, 11 o'clock, so we get like 5, 6 hours hopefully, and that could be split into multiple parts, and then hopefully it only takes like 1 or 2 or 3 of those, and that's everything.
Yeah. 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 We'll figure it out for
Mm-hmm.
sure. But yeah. I don't. Yeah. Yeah. That would probably work the best
Mm-hmm.
if we just recorded long sessions and then just fucking cut them up by bits. We would just have to,
Do you like what I
I guess.
was? Well, yeah. Do you like what I was saying that we should do with starting with the next game for Let's Plays, where we just during it we don't say like, "Hey, this is part whatever," and do like intros and outros while recording. We record those separately, and I just fucking find a spot, cut it, and then throw like a little intro outro video on it. Um, and we can just record little things like, "Hey, this is part. Thanks for watching part whatever. Yada yada yada. Like comments, blah blah blah. This and that."
Yeah. Instead of like just having to stop mid game and then be like,
Yeah, like, oh, this is. Oh, by the way, this is a good
intro.
part to stop part two. Fucking just like
Yeah.
interrupt the game with that, just so we could just like keep the game going. And I mean, there'll be like natural parts to like probably stop and uh to edit it.
Yeah.
Um, I definitely do want to try and figure out some way to have a visual component with it too. Like I was kind of thinking about this. Um, I'm gonna have to see like what like how it arranges our boxes and stuff on like this because we should use Discord or whatever. And maybe set up with like a fifth camera or like a fifth, just like share like it's one of my screens with like images related to the game, and then I wanted if I have room in like Streamlabs, I'm gonna try and fit like a little character description with everyone, so it has everyone's like character's name and like maybe just like their base stats or whatever, so that people could like see and follow along. Uh, yeah, something like that. I don't know. We'll have to see, and maybe at some point like we can when we figure out who we're going to do before, like if I'm not ready to set up like have the game ready, maybe we could just make up a one shot or something and just do it just like a practice and like maybe release it, maybe not, depending on how it goes, just so I could get like the practice of like figuring out how I want to edit it and everything.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Mm.
Most def. Fuck. But yeah, dude. Yeah. After last night, I think I got a pretty good visual
Mm-hmm.
on where to go on after that. Because I know like during session zero, everybody was kind of like, "I'm cool with it." Well, obviously, it's gonna be like an extremely long campaign that we fucking do.
Hopefully.
Yeah. Hopefully, that is essentially the end goal,
Mm-hmm.
to at least get this to like a lengthy degree. So I was just like, I mean, why not dabble into a little bit of everything, like theme wise? So I
Yeah.
started coming up with like all these fucking different regions and shit, like drawing the maps and
Mm-hmm.
shit like that. And I was like, okay, well, we'll figure out like what region this is and
And like
that,
what the
and
theme
just
is.
kind of see. Yeah. So like, I was like, ooh, like thinking, oh fuck, like it'd be cool as shit to eventually do like some fucking like pirate cove out in like the
Mm-hmm.
Oasis, shit like that.
Yeah, I was
Like,
just thinking of like one or two themes that would be fun to do. I mean, I know like
yeah,
obviously like horror, like we did horror. The theme was like a haunted house or whatever.
yeah,
And actually, I have that Van Richten's Guide to Ravenloft like book, which is how to do a horror themed game.
yeah,
But I have some like other like funny things that I was kind of thinking of that'd be fun to do. As far as like themes
yeah,
of regions, uh, like and you could use this if you want. It'd be funny if there was like a region that was like a resort like town in like fucking Jamaica or like Mexico or whatever, where it's all like or like Hawaii or whatever, where it's all like fucking tiki bars and shit, and everyone's wearing leis, and it's like, hey man, welcome to Jamaica, man. Have a party, son, and like shit like that. And, like everyone's wearing like fucking bright colored like flower like Hawaiian shirts and shit.
Oh my God. You know what? So I do have a region that's gonna be like a deserty kind of area,
Mm-hmm.
like oases and like rainforest and shit like that here and there. Um, I could probably fit like a good like little island off in the corner
Uh,
and just be like, that is like the place to go
that's
to
the
for
vacation
like
spot,
resorts and shit like
right?
that.
That's where all the people go for vacations.
Yeah. It's a total neutral zone. Everybody, even like
Mm-hmm.
the fucking like most brutal fucks, go out there for vacation and just relax.
Well,
You know,
you
you
could
get
say
like
that
the
it's like maybe it's like if you're doing like it's just like a little small island nation or off on its own, it could be that like there's like a legend or myth that like there's like a powerful wizard or whatever that like lives in the island like underground or something, or like maybe like the mayor of the town is like a fucking like level 17 fucking wizard, like demigod fucking, but he just like is like wanted to retire.
He's either like going into retirement and that's where he chose, or
Yeah, that
like
was like his plan for
he was
retirement
just
was
like,
to make a vacation spot.
yeah. Oh my god.
It's got a fucking Margaritaville.
It could be like a Jersey Shore kind of
I
park.
don't know about that. You could do that so fucking somewhere else. Have some fucking shitty coastal city way up the fucking main continent or something. That'll ruin the fucking
Into this
like
big old fat rat called Snooky.
Snooky is a 4 foot tall goblin chief. Snooky
Oh,
one snoof snoof.
Snooky wants snoo snoo.
Fucking love that episode. South
It's
Park.
like one of the funny fucking South Park episodes. Yeah, dude. Like, there's just so much shit that we could fucking do.
Mm-hmm.
Like, even when I put up the polls, between like the haunted mansion and all that,
Mm-hmm.
like, and minus Flurry's little mayonnaise fucking idea
Yeah.
that he fucking is like obsessed with mayonnaise. People, I don't understand it. Nobody in this group understands it at this point. It's literally just something that he does.
Well, yeah. I mean, it's just funny. Like to him, it's just funny now to like bring it up all the time.
Flurry is like the king of running a joke into the ground.
Yeah, running a not funny joke to the ground.
Yeah.
To the point where it maybe is funny at first, and then it becomes unfunny, and then it becomes unfunny for so long that it's kind of funny again, and then it becomes unfunny again a second time.
Like,
It's like an endless cycle of like the same joke being funny and unfunny.
yeah. Like, I just remember like the very first campaign that we did when he had Scoose. Fucking, I can't tell you how many times I heard that dude say, "Oh, you trying to suck some dick?" And then everybody was just like, "There it is, there it is, there he is."
Yeah.
The fucking, it wouldn't be a D&D session if you hadn't said it at least once, you know.
Well, it didn't help that, and which I was talking because I was talking to some friends at work about this the other day, telling them about Scoose, and I was like, man, we really because like I was like, man, we really gaslit Scoose into believing he had like a fucking 4 foot dick.
Like, yeah, we did.
Because he didn't. He literally like all it was the first time he said, "Oh, I got a big old hard on" or whatever. That's all the joke he was making, and then we blew that up
We
into
gaslighted
like
the
he
shit
had
out of
this
that.
fucking like that big of fucking. We were like whenever like fucking Jordan couldn't make it, he was playing a halfling. He was like a little halfling. We would like strap him to it or whatever, like a saddle. It wasn't that
Like,
no.
tie him down like you do,
And then
like
and
at
then
like a fucking
you
truck
never
stop
you
and
never
shit.
had an NPC ever reference it once, so he just didn't
Never,
have it. So like we
never.
just
It was
we just gaslit the fuck out of this guy. It is, and we didn't even realize we were really doing it because we all kind of forgot that he just
yeah,
didn't.
yeah. I didn't think it was. I think it was about like more than halfway through the campaign at the point that we were just like, we just gaslighted that entire thing.
Yeah. Well, yeah, we kind of like realized that like I think he even said like I never said it was like that big.
Yeah, no, we just
We were like, oh fuck,
immediately assumed that it was like this big old schlong.
like a literal like third leg.
Oh, man. And then it didn't help the fact that like when he drank that fucking mystery potion and shit,
Oh, we
and then
fucking
he was like, "Your dick's tattooed now."
yeah, like all the fucking veins light up, and now you have a tattoo that outlines all the veins on it.
Yeah.
Fucking
So
stupid.
like literally the entire time we were
I was,
just
right- I was,
like
right- I was fucking,
saying,
I was fucking running the game. I said you never had an NPC interact with them. I'm the one that ran the game. I never had an NPC fucking interact or reference it. Yeah,
yeah,
it's fuck.
no, we literally gaslighted that entire situation, and literally like I just remember one of us was just like, "Yeah, dude, like your breastplate and like armor, just wrap around it."
Or some fucking. In my head, it was just out there. It didn't have
And I
any armor on it.
remember, and I remember, I think he tried to like use it as like an improv weapon or some shit like that for like bludgeoning damage, but you're like, it doesn't work because it
Uh,
wasn't actually that fucking big.
yeah,
But like the way Scoose went out though was fucking
it made sense for
hilarious.
his character.
It really fucking did.
He lived by his
Like
penis. He
so
died by his penis.
he did. Like so for all those who obviously don't know, during the last little mission of the campaign that we were getting to, we came across this chasm, and on it was this fucking shitty old fucking bridge, right?
Yeah, it was literally. It's literally like not like a bridge with planks. It's a rope bridge. So it's a like
Yeah.
one rope in the middle and two for handles. And so it's like it's kind of like a type of difficult terrain to travel across, and it was super fucking long. So you had to take like two turns to get across it or whatever. And there's guys throwing like javelins and shit at you while you were crossing it.
Yeah. And so we had to make acrobatics checks every time we wanted to fucking go make a move through it, which was funny as fuck because I almost died in the process of
Yeah,
it. I rolled really low, but I managed to catch myself. Scoose, it was probably the funniest fucking thing. He rolls and goes, "Oh." And we all look, stand up over the table, and fucking screamed as we saw the natural one laying on
yeah.
the fucking
And I mean,
table.
I gave him a chance to catch himself, and he failed that too.
He did.
So he ended up just like slipping and landing nuts first on the rope that he was standing on, and then yeah, and then like cartoon style like slid 180 and then fell to
And
his
then
death.
literally splattered into fucking
Yeah,
bits.
yeah. I forgot like what the
Uh,
height is, but it was like a height that like
it was fucking
yeah,
high,
it
if
didn't
I
matter.
remember.
It didn't matter. Like there's nothing you could do
Like
to
no
like.
matter what you rolled, you were not surviving that
And
shit.
also,
Like
it's not like he could reach for the ledge because he was like, I think the rope thing was like 60 feet long. So and he was in the middle, so he was
he was
30 feet
like,
away
what?
from both walls.
God, dude, that shit. I think that's like one of the biggest highlights of the
And
fucking
then
camp.
I don't know if I like told you like after we finished playing that Tom, that like so that dungeon because we kind of started playing later than we originally planned, and y'all were kind of moving kind of slow through the dungeon or whatever. I like cut that dungeon like in like less than half. Also that wasn't like the final encounter. Like there, like I think y'all kind of knew that there was like a door at the end. That was going to be the final encounter, where all y'all knew was there was something big and magical and powerful behind the door, but you didn't know what. Well,
Yeah.
after y'all, everyone else makes it across the bridge and kill those two guys, because Lurie died. Everyone kind of just like gave up. And like I remember Michael was like, "Man, fuck this shit, man. He fucking died, man. I'm fucking quitting, man. I'm retiring." He fucking just like everyone just like left, and I was like, "Y'all don't even want to go see like, cause like this is the things like how I wrote it, like y'all didn't have to fight what was on the other side of the door. Y'all could have went in there and like they would have talked to y'all before y'all fought. It's like y'all just didn't do it." And like I had set it up perfectly where y'all could talk to them, and either y'all didn't have to fight them or y'all could, and if y'all did, I could go either way of uh either I just fucking TPK y'all because y'all were not gonna fucking beat it, or because it was an adult black dragon, or that I was gonna go fucking ruthless on y'all too. I was gonna go hard as fuck since it's like the last game of the campaign. I was gonna like try and kill y'all. Uh, but like if like the way like it went, like I wanted y'all to win. I was gonna have one of the other like NPCs that I had in the game just like show up, like they were following y'all, and there was like a little MacGuffin thing or whatever. But y'all just never. Y'all just all fucking. I'm fucking retiring, dude. They fucking left the dungeon. And I was like, fucking,
We
alright.
we lost our meat shield, and so to give you a little perspective, so he was the only tanky one of the group. I was a bard who was pretty fucking squishy.
Yeah.
We had Bliff, which was Michael,
Mm-hmm.
who was Warlock, who was the closest to being the next tank,
He was
I think.
definitely like pretty. I mean, he was decent, effective in combat. He didn't really use his spells that much because too early on I gave him a fucking flame tongue sword, so he just used
Yeah,
that all the time, and he kind of forgot like he had like cantrip like spell attacks and shit.
yeah.
So I was like, so I mean, he probably could
Well,
have
I
been doing like
remember.
way more damage and shit than he was, but
Oh yeah, but I always use my fucking spells like no matter
yeah.
what, and I would always pass around bardic inspiration, and nobody would fucking use it. Nobody would fucking use it.
Oh
There's
no.
been there was a few times where it was used, but like I'd be like, "Hey, I'm playing you a song." Wink, wink.
Oh
take
well,
that, take that fucking, and then they'd be like, "Okay, cool, I got this right here." And I'm like, "Well, you gonna use it at any point?" "Yeah, I'm gonna use it," and then never used it
yeah.
by the turn. And I was
I
like,
mean, there's
"Okay,
other reasons why
well,
they would forget, but
yeah,
yeah. I
yeah,
mean, I'm excited to have a
yeah.
new game going on.
Oh yeah, finally." It felt really good to actually fucking play some D&D again.
I assume are we gonna try and do like what we used to do, where it's like every other week?
Probably would be the best.
Yeah,
Um, I would love for it to be every week, but with how everybody's schedules are, it's
yeah.
probably not going to be.
That and like Tuesday, like because we're probably gonna be mostly doing it on Tuesdays again. That is kind of like one of the days that we often record stuff on.
Yeah, yeah,
So,
yeah.
well,
Either that or I'm gonna have to talk with them at work and be like, look, on like whatever days I need it, I need y'all to fucking send me the fuck home,
right,
like instead of keeping me late, because I gotta fucking do some shit.
yeah. Or you find another
Yeah,
job.
yeah, that is true.
It's always an option.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Usually they're pretty good about it whenever
Mm-hmm.
I can get off, but
Um.
sometimes get fucked, and then I'll be like, well, all right, then I'll just take off Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday then to catch
Yeah.
up on that shit.
Yeah.
Because I mean, they gave me enough. They give me plenty of fucking hours on the weekends,
Mm-hmm.
Thursday through Sunday, really. But I mean, so they'll be alright. Those are like 3 dead fucking days, anyways.
Right. Um. And other news, it's just like a little other topic I had to talk about for a little bit. I'm back streaming again, finally, after all this time, over a year.
Over a year.
I mean, I streamed a couple times in between it here and there, but I think I'm trying to like kind of back regular. I mean, I only did 2 days so far, and by the time this is up, hopefully I've knocked out a few more, like three, at least 3 more days, this week. Um, yeah, I started playing Assassin's Creed 3 remastered.
Shit.
So I'm a,
That's a good one. I enjoyed that one.
yeah, I mean, I haven't. That's been a long time since I played 3, so fucking, I felt like playing it. I was like, fuck, I feel like playing Assassin's Creed, but I wanted to play like the old school style, and I don't want to play like, even though I have like Origins and Odyssey, like I didn't feel like playing like that style one. I was like, fuck it, I'm just gonna fucking play Assassin's Creed 3 since I got that. Um, yeah, I streamed Sunday and Monday. I think Sunday was like just under 3 hours, and then Monday was like about 2.5 hours. I'm gonna try and keep it around that length, especially if it's like during the week after work. I could probably only really do that. But like, obviously, some days I can't, like, cause like I couldn't Tuesday because we played D&D, and then I couldn't tonight because we're doing this. If I had time, I would have did a little bit before, but I just didn't have the time for it.
Yeah.
So, but
Yeah.
hopefully Thursday, Friday, and maybe Saturday, and also Sunday again, and I could try and do like maybe 4 days a week or something like that. I'm not like going to like set like a schedule or a time or anything yet. I'm gonna wait until I just like if I could find a natural schedule that like just works with my life, and if I could keep that up, then I'll set it or whatever. Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't really have plans to like record them and upload them and shit. I'll probably just stream them and just that's it. Um, I don't know. If I was streaming on YouTube, then I would have it set to like save them and upload them. But since I'm streaming on Twitch, check out the link in the description, by the way. Uh, I'm probably just gonna let it just fucking however many days it stays up on Twitch. Just how long it stays up on Twitch.
Yeah.
Um, because like the last couple times that I streamed where I was like painting Warhammer stuff, I did record a couple of them and upload them to YouTube. But
Mhm.
I don't know. I might just say fuck it, not worry about it.
Yeah.
I'm not.
Yeah. I know when I was doing streaming frequently. This was during the height of COVID, like 2020, early
Mm-hmm.
2021 or something like that.
Yeah, I'm not the same time I
I
was
would
doing a
usually
lot.
I would usually streaming about like 2 to 3 hours.
Mm-hmm.
Like
Oh, oh yeah, like when I was doing it like regularly. I mean, shit, how much was I doing? I want to say I was doing like averaging 2+ hours every time I streamed, and then I was streaming 10 to 15 hours a week. Uh,
yeah,
Usually on the weekends I was able to get like a one or like I might stream like twice in one day, like a little bit in the morning, a little bit in the afternoon, or like have like just a long stream in general and get like an extra couple hours. But I mean, yeah, when I was doing
yeah,
it regularly, I mean, I'd built up the habit to where I was doing like 40+ hours like every month,
oh
which
yeah,
isn't insane, but when you work a full-time job, it's a lot.
yeah,
Um, Hopefully I can get back to that. I mean, I'm kind of jumping like straight back into it, just going straight trying to hit that kind of goal sort of. So hopefully I can, and hopefully I can maintain it and start building up my followers again and stuff. And then I'll try and figure out next. So my goal for this year is kind of related to like Twitch, YouTube. That I've kind of had for myself is I had like three or so kind of goals. One of them was our channel, getting that all set up and rolling, which it is. Then was to get back to streaming, which I just started that. So hopefully I can maintain that too at the same time, and then start figuring out at some point some type of videos to be doing on my channel.
yeah.
So that's like once I get like the streaming fully rolling, and maybe get like a couple months into it, I figure out like okay, this is what I'm gonna do on my channel. I have some ideas and stuff that I've been toying around with for on and off for like a long time, but it's finding the actual time to do it all. So many
Yeah.
things to do, so little time.
Yep. Yeah. I might end up doing some other than like obviously the gaming videos I haven't recorded and
Mm-hmm.
uploaded in like almost 2 weeks, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but I kind of now that the whole D&D thing's up and running, I might attempt to do some D&D videos for like
Mm-hmm.
whether it's like character creating or
Mm-hmm.
fucking DMing and shit, like DMing the tips and like my experiences and shit that I've had.
Yeah.
Um,
Uh,
or even just the stories. I could tell like some stories on the fucking
well, yeah,
channel.
I was gonna say you could kind of do like the story time like from like various stories from the games that we've played, and but do the video of your stupid people drawing
God. Oh my God.
where it's like
Yeah.
it's not animated, but it's like you have a couple like pictures that you're going through or whatever of like various scenes that you're drawing out.
Yeah. I was actually thinking about that the other day. Like, I almost got out my, because I still need to obviously get out and fucking work on the art and
Mm-hmm.
everything. But fucking, I was sitting there looking at it and I was like, that would be a good idea. Because I started watching Puffin Forest a
Mm-hmm.
lot lately.
Yeah.
Like going back to my usual like watching, the ones I usually watch
Mm-hmm.
like 5 or 10 fucking times. But yeah, dude, like I was sitting there and I'm like, he doesn't. Well, he animates them to like a degree.
Yeah, they're kind of animated.
Yeah, but I think that's just him drawing the frames out
Yeah,
or whatnot.
and that's basically kind of what you could do, but with stupid people. That's kind of what I was thinking. Like,
Yeah,
yeah.
I dig it. Yeah, I just think I need to get like a solid like art style that I'm happy with
Mm-hmm.
because I started going through a couple of them and I'm like, I don't really know what I want to do. Like, I'll try to keep it like as basic as possible and still keep it like dumb looking, but
Yeah.
like neat in a sense. Because in a sense, like I look at it, it's called Stupid People. I mean,
Right.
gotta have some stupid feel to it
Mm-hmm.
or whatever. But yeah,
Uh-huh.
Yeah,
Definitely,
that and
maybe.
eventually probably what I'll do. I don't know if I'll do it on like I'll probably do it on like my channel or some shit like that. I don't know yet, but obviously like come up with like the comic ideas
Mm-hmm.
and then get all of us together and start like voice acting the shit.
Yeah,
That way I could do like episodes or seasons of whatever,
yeah,
kind of bring it to a new light instead of just on pen and paper.
yeah. With like your narration or whatever.
Yeah,
Cause that's what I was saying. Like you're narrate like you're doing like basically a puff and forward style video where you're
in a
narrating the
sense.
story, but like the visual is like and like probably like I definitely wouldn't say use like loose leaf paper. I'd say like use like get like a sketchbook with like some nice like white paper, like thicker white paper, and like a nice
Yeah,
dark pencil. Like maybe have like a regular like fucking number two pencil or mechanical pencil like that you use to like do the general first sketch, but then go back over it with like a actual like higher numbered pencil or pen for like the final line. So that gets picked up real nicely on the camera
yeah,
on like some like solid white paper and not like lined paper.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Which I think I'm using the line paper right now, just kind of like going through and like sketching out
Yeah,
like
just getting back used to
rough
drawing it.
drafts and shit like that
Yeah,
for like stories and kind of seeing them how I'm looking at like how it's looking.
yeah, I would say
And I
like
got like a sketchbook and shit that I'm like actually like trying to like figure out what I want from the art style and
yeah.
everything. Because back in the day, God, dude, fuck it, my character looked so fucking they look so bad.
I mean,
They
hey,
were
it was
so
fucking high school, bro.
bro, but it was like I would literally like there was barely any thought put into them,
Mm-hmm.
and like even going back and like reading a lot of them, the we had a staple for the series which was called like What the Hell or something like that, which was like because at the time Jordan was like a big old brony, and every one of us were just like, we still love you, but I mean you're a brony
Yeah, you fucking
shit every now and then, and like the whole thing was like he took over hell from Satan and turned it into like this brony land,
damn,
and we teamed up with Satan to put Satan back in hell.
damn.
Oh, dude, it was so fucking stupid. Like, I remember one point, like, reading through it, and I was like, oh, yeah, that's right. Me and, I think it was me and Michael, I had drawn it out. Me and him killed God and Jesus and just got their powers, but I was, like, reading through it, and I'm like, we didn't use any of that shit.
Right.
Like, that was a irrelevant fucking piece of
Well,
information that
no, but it's
thrown in.
also like you could also think of it like I mean, it's kind of like a fucking like South Park, like early South Park. They do all kinds of wacky shit in the episode, and then they never reference it again.
Yeah. Like we didn't use any of the powers that we had gotten from
Mm-hmm.
God and Jesus. Used it on fucking Jordan. We just killed him.
Yeah, you just did it because you were edgy teenagers. You were into metal music.
Oh my God. Yeah. But yeah, dude, it's but yeah, those were just like little comics and everything that we would just fucking write up in like a day though.
Yeah,
Like
you would
even
just do
probably
it in
less
class
than
or
that.
whatever.
Yeah, like we'd be in like civics class and me and like Jordan and everybody would be like crowded around the notebook just fucking laughing our asses off coming up with these stupid ass ideas and then that would be the story.
Mm-hmm.
Which I mean, that's not a bad way to get stories, but the inconsistency in the stories is fucking really fucking bad.
Mm-hmm.
Ugh. But yeah, I definitely wouldn't mind like actually going and like trying to actually make some like good stories with it and
Yeah, just
whatnot.
do like whatever.
And obviously still keeping like inside jokes in there between us, like throwing them
Mm-hmm.
in there every now and then would be funny as fuck. I was actually thinking because now that we're back in the D&D, I was like, dude, it'd be funny as fuck if I could draw up like a little like mini story of us playing D&D and then narrate it, like the story of that
Mm-hmm.
as we're playing it in the fucking like showing us our characters and whatnot, and just having
Right.
like a little episode of that would be funny.
Well, that's what I was
But
saying.
yeah,
Like, I mean, it's kind of basically what the you'll be doing with the D&D stories.
yeah.
Where it's like, so we were fucking playing D&D, and then it's like you show like all of us kind of sitting around the table or whatever, and then you fucking cut, and it's like us as our characters or whatever.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I think it's just I think at this point it's just coming down to finding a solid like art style that I'm happy with,
Yeah, I mean,
which
really it's just updating it to like fit you more today than you. As a
back
reminder,
then.
like 10 years ago.
Yeah, 10 years ago, dude. 10 fucking years ago. Yeah,
Yeah.
I think I literally came up with that shit literally 10 years ago, like
Hmm.
this year
Yeah.
because yeah, we were sophomores, dude. That was around 2013.
Fucking Christ.
Wow.
Yeah,
Fuck, dude.
I knew that make you feel old.
Wow.
Yeah, I have fucking daily reminders of that shit because like a lot of the guys that I work with that I talk to and shit, they're like 21, 22 years old. So we finished high school when they were going in. And so I had like
Like
fucking daily reminders of that shit.
yeah, like I work with one kid, he's getting ready to graduate this year.
Hmm.
And I'm like, dude, how old are you again? He was like, I just turned 18, and I'm like, fuck, dude.
Yeah,
Like, I'm like, dude, I am literally like fucking 9 years older than you.
working the
Like,
same
or
job.
like close to it. Like, fuck, dude.
Oh yeah, I got the
Oh,
same
dude.
feelings at my work. I mean, there's no one that's that young. They did at one point have like one or two guys that, you know, their citizenship status might not have been fully legit if you catch my drift. And like their parents were working there, and they paperwork said that they were one age, but they're definitely a couple years younger,
Yeah.
and they don't work there no
Yep.
more.
Yeah. Jesus.
uh,
Fucking
yeah. So, but
oh,
like
America.
also they didn't speak English, so I never talked to them. I never learned like the main like there was two. There was like the one that was there for a long time, and the one that came for just like a couple weeks or whatever, and then wasn't there no more. That was even younger, but the one that was there the longest time, we just call him Smiley because like I don't know. Sometimes you get the impression that he understood a little English or something, and so you'd say something to him, but then he would just sit there and just like sit there and smile and like literally like almost like laugh at you or whatever, and just not say anything. And then he was fucking the guys he was working with. He was like teaching them on like because we would use Google Translate for fucking everything. He's fucking telling them all kinds of like fucking dirty words and shit.
Oh my God. It's
This show is
amazing.
funny. Uh, yeah, let's get back to like the regular topics.
Yeah.
Yeah, big plans for the coming year. It's hopefully that's kind of the plan for me is that either like by the end of the year to have like all three of those things kind of set up and rolling.
Yeah.
Fucking like halfway through it though.
Yeah, dude. Shit.
There wasn't a whole lot of like Warhammer stuff this past week. Just to kind of go on to that real quick, they like showed off the rest of the squad of the new Terminator models. They look pretty good. I'm excited for them.
Yeah.
They're getting ready to have Warhammer Fest in like a couple weeks.
Oh
That's the
shit.
big festival that they put on themselves, and they're going to show off the full box for 10th edition. And they'll actually have there in London or wherever they're having it. They're going to have like games where you could play test it. There are people there to teach you how to play 10th edition Warhammer, and like before it's even out, they'll have like it all set up for people to play it. And they're actually going to have there's an event in the United States that they're going to have set up too for people to go and play test it in person as well. That's kind of cool. I don't think it's like
Dude.
anywhere fucking near us at all. A fucking
If they did anything near us, it'd probably be in like Texas.
it's going to be it's at the Kansas City Open is where it's at. There's a Kansas City
Uh,
Open tournament. So it's all the way in
and
fucking Kansas City. I probably did it there because that was just like the closest event time wise to when Warhammer Fest is, and it's a decent sized one. Yeah, it's from the
yeah.
2nd to the 4th of June. I think
Uh,
Warhammer Fest is definitely before that by a few days. Uh, they were just talking about it because I think the tickets are almost sold out or pretty much sold out for Warhammer Fest. But yeah, it'd be cool to have like, and they're gonna have like stuff for the other games and shit too. Other than that, but that's like the big thing is the Warhammer 10th edition. They're gonna allegedly show off like the whole box. Um, do you have any other thing you wanted to kind of cover while I'm loading this up? Oh no, did you freeze? Oh, I lost him. No, Gavin, no. Oh no. No.
What the fuck just happened there?
You froze and then your camera turned off.
Like my fucking screen just completely shut down,
Damn.
and I was like, what?
Fuck it. Keeping it in. uh, just to make it fucking
Fuck.
easier for me to fucking edit.
That'd
Um,
be funny as fuck. But yeah, yeah, Warhammer Fest in Kansas City though should be
well, yeah,
fucking
that's the just like a tournament event that's going on. The actual Warhammer Fest is in London, I think, or it's at the headquarters of wherever Warhammer is in England. Here it
yeah.
is. Warhammer Fest 2023. Blah, 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 blah. Under a month. This was like April 3rd, so it's like really soon. The 29th.
29th.
Yeah, 29th is when it is. In Manchester Central venue. 10,000 person capacity. Yep, that's where it is.
Yep. Yeah, that sounds about right. That's usually what those like festivals like that usually
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
max out to.
yeah. So it'd be cool to see the new stuff that they got. I'm
Yeah,
excited as always.
I'm yeah, that'll be. I'm definitely gonna have to keep an eye out for that. That's gonna be fucking.
Yeah, I
That's
mean they're
gonna be.
probably going to do what they did last time and have like a live reveal show or whatever where they show everything. Which so how they do that kind of is like a behind the scenes thing is there's like a live like stage show that they do that is where there's people on stage like in front of like everyone and they're like going over everything, and then after that like they all get to see everything first, and then after that they have these guys at the studio at the main office that have like a pre-recorded. Uh, they I think they it might be live or they like make it they sometimes it is live because they like reference like the Twitch chat and shit, and like the last one
Yeah,
was they did it at the place in the United States at Adepticon. Uh, so it is like actual live thing, but it's like they have like fucking teleprompters and like they're like, oh, let's go to this video or whatever, and like they're showing like the fucking like trailers and stuff, the full videos of like showing off everything, and they get to
yeah,
talk about it a certain bit. Hopefully, it's not like super late at night like the last one. The last one fucking
yeah.
started at fucking 10 p.m. It was a fucking
Bro,
hour and a half long. I
I'm
have a,
hoping that it doesn't.
I
Like,
mean, I have a feeling this is going to be a long one because it's going to show off the supposedly going to show off the whole 10th edition box, which will be fucking the balls. It's a
yeah,
lot. There's a lot of shit that they got to show off. I'm surprised they haven't announced more stuff. Uh, I mean, they might get closer because it is at the end of the month. They've already showed off. They showed off the Terminators. 'Cause they showed off one of them that day, one of the Termagants that day. But they've already on the website showed off the whole squad of Terminators. Just a five man squad. They haven't talked about like weapon options, and I think it's gonna be all the same weapon options. But I think usually what happens when these like the beginning edition like big boxes with all these new models, it's you don't get the full kit of the model. You get like the kind of early release version where they just give
yeah,
you like there's one version of it you could build. You don't give you all the weapon options like they usually do later on. Like if you were to
hmm
buy like just the squad. So they showed off the Terminators, and then they actually showed off the lieutenant that the guy in the trailer that has like the dual wielding knives and shit with like the half helmet.
yeah.
They showed off his model. That's a brand new lieutenant in Reaver armor, I think it is. Like they just showed
Okay.
him off like the other day. There's a lot of there's like several lieutenant models that all have like different variations of the armor. Um, his is like a lighter kind of stealth, not quite necessarily stealthier armor, but let's see, what is it? Yeah, fucking yeah. But I know there's like fucking like four or so different lieutenant models. There's like fucking like the standard one, Gravis armor, this kind of armor, that kind of armor, and they have like different
Yeah.
weapon loadouts. And he replaced one of his shoulder pads with like some of the armor off of like a Tyranid, which is kind of cool looking. He's got like fucking three knives on him. And he has, which I don't think they really had any models with these kind of weapons in this past edition, but they're bringing back what's called combi weapons. So he has
Mhm.
a it's a bolt rifle that has a flamethrower mounted on it.
Mm.
So that'd be pretty sweet.
Yeah,
And
that'd be
and
fucking dope.
the trailer shows like some other units that have similar weapons to that. So hopefully there's like squads or whatever that have that kind of stuff. But it'd be pretty sweet. But that's all they've showed us so far. But they're probably gonna maybe show some other stuff leading like up in like the week or two before. They might show off like another model or two, and then they'll show off fuck it because there's if it's as many things that are in that trailer, this is a fucking lot of shit they gotta show off.
Yeah,
I mean, they
there's
got
gonna be a lot.
yeah. There's one, if not two, different types of Space Marine squads that are in that trailer. They still have the fucking Terminator, the Librarian and Terminator armor. Then there's a lot of Tyranid shit, like a ton of fucking Tyranid shit that either doesn't have models or has like fucking old models or doesn't hasn't had a model that was valid in like multiple editions of the game. Like
Yeah,
it's brand new type of shit. So I'm assuming they're probably gonna show off some Tyranid stuff in like, but maybe like later this week or next week, and then maybe like they might go back and do like one more of each thing or something, or who knows? Maybe that is it until this show. I guess I'll just have to wait and find out.
yeah, yeah. I'm excited. I'm really want to see like how like much better the 10th edition books are gonna be. Like that's my big thing. Like I really want to see like how much more easier and accessible you can actually get to the shit that you need to use
Yeah, that's like the big thing
versus having to
that they're.
go book on book on book.
Yeah, I mean, I think towards the end of this edition they kind of started to already get a little bit better with it, from what I understand, because like and like eighth edition and shit, like from what I understand, like the end of eighth edition, like depending on what rules and shit you were doing and like or whatever, you could have you'd have rules like say you're playing Space Marines, right? You could have rules from the Space Marine Codex. They say you're doing Ultramarines, rules from the Ultramarines Codex on top of that. Then you could have um, maybe some ability or some like special unit that was in an issue of White Dwarf, which is the magazine that they put out like once a month or whatever. That would sometimes have like rules and shit in it, and like stuff that wouldn't necessarily be warranted getting in its own book would be in that. And then you could have maybe there was like a FAQ on the website, or some of the stuff in all three of those that needed to be updated by points values or whatever from the FAQ. And then you also, which that's not going to go away. Uh, and then they would also have like maybe there was some other like psychic ability from the event going to the Psychic Awakening book. So you could have like fucking 5 or 6 sources of fucking rules.
Yeah,
But this,
that's a
they
fuck look.
yeah, they kind of already started to get a little better about that. Like the last going from, I don't know if the event going from the event going from eighth to ninth was called Psychic Awakening, and it was like seven, like 6 books or whatever, and each one of them had like a couple of rules for like whatever 2 or 3 factions were featured in that book.
Hmm.
And so I mean, it depending on what faction you played, you only need to get one of the books. But like this one, the only rules that I'm aware of that are in the Arcs of Omen books is the first one has the boarding action game mode rules, which hopefully they put those out. They just add those to the regular rule book, because from what I understand, they're only in that book, and like 2 or 3 months after that book came out, you can't get the book no more.
Uh,
well, it's sold out, and they're not printing more of them because it's like the end of this event or whatever, so they don't need to. And
Yeah.
then the Lions book's going to have his rules in it, and like a couple other little things in it. And there's like maybe one or two other things in some of the other books, but nothing major. So they've kind of they've talked about that before, how like they know people are fucking annoyed by it. I mean, like the FAQ stuff, that's not going to go away because that's the on their website how they do the balance data balance sheets, and like if points need to be readjusted or whatever, or rule clarification and shit like that. But they're going
Yeah.
to try and simplify it and make less rules. Like one of the things that they're doing to simplify it that I like is a good. I think is a good idea is your faction has a list of stratagems you could take as like these abilities you could take for your army. Like
Mm.
maybe ability might let you like re-roll certain rolls or whatever or shit like that. Um, there's certain ones that kind of every army has, but they all are called something else and have a slight tweak to how they work. They're all going to be the same. They're all going to be called the same thing. They're all going to work the same. Uh,
Yeah.
and you're going to have like let's say Space Marines are going to have a sheet. It has a couple universal ones and then some Space Marine exclusive ones. Well, if you play like Blood Angels, you're not going to use that sheet. You're going to use the Blood Angels sheet, which has those universal ones, maybe some Space Marines ones and some Blood Angels ones. And so like
Yeah.
you don't have to have like oh I have one or two that I'm taking from the Space Marine book. I got one from the Blood Angels book. I got one from this book. It's all like you just pull from this one sheet. You have one sheet. That's all you use.
Gee.
And like I said, like I talked about before, when the edition comes out, because it's different enough, all the rules are going to be free initially. So all the codex stuff you'll be able to find online and shit. Um,
God.
but there are going to still release codexes,
Yeah.
and like they're going to release there's going to be physical and digital versions of the indexes, which have all the rules but no lore stuff.
Yeah.
Which I mean, if those come with the box set, I'm gonna try and get like the whatever the starter box set is. If those come with it, then I'll have them, but I'm not gonna buy them separately. I'll just use the online rules.
Yeah.
Um, but I'm excited. Hopefully, the
Yeah.
box isn't fucking expensive and doesn't get sold. I assume they're gonna make a lot of that box. So they're probably not gonna worry about it selling out.
I would fucking hope so. Like,
Just
I would really hope so.
because I know for a long time that after the ninth edition came out, that Indominus that box starter box was called Indominus, and you were able to find it for pretty much anywhere for like a long time. And I mean, I'm sure you could still find it in some places.
Oh
Um,
yeah.
and they'll probably do the same thing they did with ninth edition, where like the Indominus box is like the initial like get everything before we sell it separately box, and then around the time they start selling stuff separately, they'll maybe do what they did with ninth edition and have there's like the $50 edition of the starter set, then there's the $100 starter set, then there's like the $150 starter set.
Yeah.
'Cause that's how it is right now. There's like 3 or 4 editions of the starter box for ninth edition. Um, so it'd be cool if they do that, where like each step up you get more shit and like I know like the first like because I bought the $50 one for ninth edition. It doesn't come with the full rule book. It comes with like a little paperback, like basic rule book, like the basics in it. It's not enough to actually you can't. It's not enough to actually like play a fucking game at 40K. It's like you could play like the little missions that are in that book. They teach you how to do that and like the basics of like stuff, but that's it.
Yeah.
And as they release codexes, that's going to be like that's going to be the updated version of the rules. The free rules will be out of date.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm excited to see what they do though, and everything with 10th edition. It
Mm-hmm.
should be. If anything, I feel like this will be the edition that bring in a
Be a
fuckload of
lot
new people.
easier. Yeah, it'd be a lot easier to start it.
Yeah.
Yeah, because
Because I mean that was one of the big things. Like whenever I started like looking into it and everything,
mm-hmm.
was just like how overwhelming everything is.
Yeah,
Like there's
I
a
mean
lot.
Warhammer in general is overwhelming.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah.
but
I
like
mean, it's got fucking years of lore behind it. I
lore,
mean,
there's that. There's the whole hobby part of like building. It's all models and building and painting and everything on top of it. and then like
Yep.
figuring out how to make an army and shit. Like this, they posted an article explaining kind of some of the basics on how to build the army in the new edition. It's way simpler. I can't wait.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, it doesn't seem like they're going to really be doing rules for uh like it's not really a thing that for like there to be rules really anymore of like multi faction armies of like you take units from like multiple factions and shit. That's not really a thing. They kind of have with like I know like imperial units like there's a couple like what they're called like imperial agents that you could take with different imperium armies like
Yeah.
the imperial assassins and inquisitors and shit. And I think it's gonna be the
Yep.
same way when they pull out the full rules for the RBDs and the Navy breachers, which they actually I'm tempted to get it. If it wasn't for the 10th edition is so close in like a couple months coming out, I would probably get it. Uh, they announced the final two boarding action boxes, which are like boarding patrol boxes, and one of them is an Imperial Agents box, not fucking like Space Marines or Sisters of Battle or anything. It's what was in it? The infantry is two. It's 20 units of two 10-man squads of the Imperial Navy breachers, which I do want to get a squad of those guys. Then they had this
Yeah.
other like Imperial agent, like rogue trader, like kill team. That's like it's Imperial units, but like they're all like it's a unique kill team that they're in there. I think there's an
Yeah.
Inquisitor, maybe, and a one of the assassins. I know they fucking just announced it like the other day. I think it might be up for pre-order or something, and I'm fucking tempted to get that bitty. Like, but this thing is
Oh
like 10th
yeah.
edition. It's like $150 box. 10th edition's right around the fucking corner. I already got so many fucking models I gotta finish building and fucking painting and shit. Like, it's already gonna be like a big thing adding on the fucking 10th edition box.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
What?
That 10th edition. I can't wait for it. It's gonna be
Yeah.
sick.
Mm-hmm. And I might. I'm gonna talk to Jordan about it, depending on how much the box. If the box isn't too bad, I'll probably just cop it myself. But if it is like a really big, really expensive box, uh,
Mhm.
I might talk to Jordan see if he's interested in like going half and half on it with me, so I can give him all the Tyranid stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, Agents of the Imperium. Yeah, it's got fucking a bunch of the Imperial Breachers, the Evisaur Assassin, the Rogue Trader fucking squad. I don't know, it's cool, but fucking, and I want them Imperial Breachers, but I don't need fucking 20 of them. And though the advantage that is, if with that many of them, I could build a 10-man squad of like the kill team specialist, and then take the other 10-man squad and like split it up into the 40k like unit or whatever.
Yeah. True. That is true.
I mean, I would end up using them all for like kill team or whatever. I wouldn't really use them for fucking
Oh
40k.
yeah.
Also, like the rules to play that army as a boarding action army is in the Lion books. I'd have to pre-order that too.
Oh my god.
So that's another like $50 book I'd have to get on top of that. So it's like $200 I'm spending right there for fucking to play this fucking unit in fucking 40k. And actually, if I was to play them as a kill team, I'd have to get the fucking Kill Team Annual 2022 or whatever book that's got all their rules in it. Either way, I'd have to buy that and buy like an extra book. Or I could just say
Yeah.
fuck it and just not buy it and just wait.
Yeah. That's Yeah. Fuck it. You might as well just go ahead.
No,
Yeah.
I need to save my
One.
money, dog. I need to save my money. I'm dying over here, bro. There's too much shit.
There's a lot of shit. There's a lot of shit. God. Yeah. Especially with Warhammer, bro. There's just so much shit.
Oh yeah.
So much.
That's why I'm glad that they are doing like the 10th edition is gonna have one of the new game modes is Combat Patrol, where you just buy the Combat Patrol box and that's your army. and they're gonna have like special rules that they're all balanced. Because right now, if you were to use them in 40k as a 500 point army, they're not balanced. Some of those boxes are definitely stronger than others. Uh, but some of them, but they're gonna like balance. They're gonna make special rules to balance them all out for combat patrol, as to, like help get new people in. So you just gotta buy like you should have the rule book in the fucking $150 box, and you're good to go.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, yeah, that is probably the easiest way to get somebody into it,
Mm-hmm.
right there, along with Kill Team.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they talked about like they how they kind of designed the game is closer to like 1,500 point games and like 2,000 point games. It's kind of what like main 40k is like balanced towards, and like it's kind of balanced at 1,000 points, but like they're gonna have I think they said boarding action is gonna be like how they like is gonna be where they want people who want to do like smaller, shorter games, where it's like 500 or so to 1,000 point games, and then the combat patrol, which it's I think technically most of the boxes are around 500 points. Some of them are a little less, some of them are a little more. But that's why they're going to make special rules to balance them all.
Yeah.
And then you could
Yeah.
you could buy one of those and be all set, dog. They have a Black
Yeah.
Templar one, and it actually has like Black Templar units in it. That's the only thing about some of them. Some of the Space Marine ones, at least, they don't really have like specific to that fucking chapter units in it. It's got Space Marine general stuff, and they throw in some upgrade sprues. But the Black Templar one does have like fucking initiates or something, like the ones that have like the shoulder pads and like no like forearm armor or whatever, and like another like Black Templar exclusive unit. I think there's a tank in there too, or at least like a troop transport, not necessarily a tank.
That's tempting as fuck.
Mm-hmm. Uh, but yeah, I mean that'd be like an easy way for you to get started.
Oh yeah. Hell yeah, dude.
But yeah, I got it right here. Looks like you got a squad of regular intercessors, like a 5-man squad. It looks like, and then you have what is that? Let me just see if I can pull it up where like it explains everything, what actually comes with it. So you got 17 models in there, and one of them is like a troop transport type tank. This bundle includes a Primaris Marshal, which I think that's a Black Templar thing. Crusader Squad, which is one Sword Brother and 5 Initiates, and 4 Neophytes, and then 5 regular Intercessors, and then an Impulsor. And you also get a Black Templar upgrade frame and transfer sheet for Black Templar stuff. So that's a cool box for like Black Templar because it comes with like it actually has Black Templar units in it. I never bought the Blood Angels one because I don't think any of the units were like Blood Angel specific units.
Oh
Like
shit.
it's all just like general fucking Space Marine stuff. And the same with the Dark Angels. And I like the Dark Angels box better, so I bought that box instead. So,
Oh yeah.
because that one came with the Redemptor Dreadnought. It came with the fucking like regular intercessors. It came with a chaplain, and then it had suppressors, which are like these like flying fucking Space Marine unit, where like it's like 3 dudes that are flying. They have fucking dual wield plasma guns.
Yeah. Yeah. Definitely gonna have to add this combat patrol though to my fucking my shit because I'm looking at that and I'm like,
Mm-hmm. It's not bad. I mean,
no, that's a good amount of shit in it.
especially since like it's a decent bit of it's like 16 like guys and a tank or like troop
Yeah.
transport type thing. I think the one that I bought didn't come with as much um because the Redemptor Dreadnought's more expensive than the tank.
Yeah.
Let me see how many. It could be pretty close.
Shit. You know what? That's actually like
Yeah, mine only had fucking 10 models in
to
it.
do just combat patrol like game mode. Like That's a fairly cheap way to like get multiple fucking combat patrol armies.
Yeah.
Because I'm looking right here, like you got the fucking Dark Angels, you got
Oh yeah, a
uh
lot of the armies have
Paladin,
them.
yeah. You got the normal, just fucking typical Ultramarines, the
Yeah.
Space Wolf. Oh wait, no, that's Thousand Suns. Never mind.
There's a
I saw
Space
the
Wolf. There's a Space Wolves one.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Those are
The,
those are. But one thing though with the Space Marine ones, they do typically include like upgrade sprues for like the molded shoulder pads for like those chapters and stuff. But like I was looking at
yeah.
the fucking Blood Angels one, I was like, why? Like so, Blood Angels have their own version of one of the tanks. There's a type of tank called a Predator tank, and they have a ball pattern Predator. Ball is like the home planet of the Blood Angels. It's not in the
Mhm.
box. It has a librarian. It's not. There's a Blood Angels librarian and Terminator armor. It's not that. It's like what the fuck are you doing? Why aren't you giving me my shit?
Yeah.
They could have easily put the fucking uh Death Company intercessors, but they didn't. They just put like regular fucking. I don't even know what the fuck they put in. I don't think it was regular intercessors.
Oh yeah, they could have easily fucking did that.
Yeah, but they didn't. It's all. It was. I remember it was like all generic stuff. I was like, fuck it. I'm just gonna get the fucking Dark Angels one. That one's got better shit in it.
Yeah.
Because I knew like when I was building my army initially before I actually like looked at like the list, I wanted a chaplain. Of course, now I have three.
Yeah.
Uh, but before like I decided to buy the character ones, that box came with like a regular like generic one, the Primaris chaplain, and which I do kind of still want the. I wouldn't mind maybe getting the Primaris chaplain on bike, and like a bike squad to go with it or something. That'd be pretty dope. But I don't need it. I have a lot of shit.
Yeah.
Because well, it's the thing. So not only is 10th edition about to come out, but I assume shortly around that same time, the fucking new Commander Dante model is going to be coming out. Gotta buy that,
Yeah.
obviously. And then they're supposed to have like some other new Blood Angel shit. So like, I gotta buy that when it comes out.
Yep.
So I don't need to like necessarily stockpile other shit right now.
Yeah. Yeah. That is true. Oh shit. Ooh, my back.
I didn't know if you had anything else you wanted to talk about while we're at like an hour and a half.
No, I think that pretty much summed it up for me. Yeah, I think I'm all set on the topics for tonight.
Alrighty, well, that was episode 15, y'all. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. Check out the Twitch channel in the description for me. Like I said, I'm
Yeah.
starting to. Hopefully, when this is up, around the time this is up, I'll be fucking streaming. Hopefully.
Yep.
Uh, Catch you on the
Sure to
flip
stay
side.
tuned.
Yeah, stay tuned for upcoming projects.
Catch you all on the flip side.